What if there was a surprising secret in the world of wrestling that might overturn everything you thought you knew about its biggest stars? The wrestling world was shaken to its core on July 24, 2025. Hulk Hogan, the legendary figure who defined an era, died at the age of 71. But no one expected what Roman Reigns had to say about it. A revelation so shocking that it has been whispered about in the corners of the ring. We will solve the mystery tonight. Why did Roman Reigns finally speak up? And what does he know that no one else does? Hulk Hogan, whose real name is Terry Gene Bollea, was more than just a wrestler. He was a phenomenon. In the 1980s, he turned professional wrestling from smoky regional halls into a worldwide phenomenon. His larger-than-life personality, which included his famous bandana, handlebar mustache, and Hulkamania catchphrase, made him a household name. He wasn't just a wrestler, he was the wrestler. The guy who threw Andre the Giant during WrestleMania III. The man who became a bad guy in 1996 and led the New World Order, startling the world and changing the course of wrestling history. Hogan's impact went beyond the ring. He was in movies, had his own TV show, and even started a beer company called Real American Beer in 2024. But with a lot of celebrity came a lot of trouble. Hogan's world fell apart in 2015 after a leaked recording showed him uttering racial insults. This got him kicked out of WWE for a while. He came back, but the scars stayed. And then, on July 24th, 2025, something that couldn't be imagined happened. After a cardiac arrest call at 9:51 a.m., Hogan was found lifeless at his residence in Clearwater, Florida. Even though first responders tried to save him, he was declared dead at 11:17 a.m. The world of wrestling was sad. Ric Flair, The Undertaker, and even President Donald Trump sent in tributes. Trump dubbed Hogan MAGA all the way. But one voice was quite quiet. Until now. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief and head of the table, has been the face of WWE for more than 10 years. Reigns is known for being somber and having a dominating presence. He has rarely talked out of character, especially when it comes to things that aren't related to his bloodline plot. Fans of Hulk Hogan expected a short, polite message from the Inoue family's biggest celebrity after he died. But Reigns didn't say anything. There was a lot of talk in the wrestling community for days. Why are you quiet? Was it out of respect? Disdain? Or something more? Theories became viral on the internet. Some people thought Reigns was overly concentrated on his fight with Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Some people said that there was a deeper schism, one that sprang from wrestling's long history of egos and betrayals. If we want to know why Reigns' silence was so loud, we need to go back to the beginning of their relationship. Lady Joseph Inoue, also known as Roman Reigns, is from the famous Inoue wrestling family. Sika, Hogan's father, and Afa, Hogan's uncle, were the Wild Samoans, who were tag team champions in the WWF when Hogan was rising. In the beginning, they shared the ring with Hogan, partied with him, and even trained with him. But in the world of wrestling, there are a lot of affiliations and grudges. Could there have been problems between the Inoue family and Hogan that we didn't know about? The wrestling community, especially the Inoue family, was deeply affected by Hogan's racism issue in 2015. The Inoues have always supported diversity in wrestling because they are proud Samoans. Did Hogan's comments cause a split? Did Reigns, as the current head of the family, feel that way? Was there something else? What was it that made Reigns stay quiet? Roman Reigns eventually spoke on July 30th, 2025, 6 days after Hogan died. Not on WWE TV, not on X, but in a special interview with Sports Illustrated. His statement shook the wrestling industry to its core. Let's take it apart. Roman Reigns asked, what went on behind closed doors? Things that fans don't know. That makes it hard for me to just say, rest in peace, and move on. What did Reigns mean? Was it Hogan's past that was so controversial? A betrayal of trust? Or maybe something even bigger? We need to look into the untold narrative of Hulk Hogan and the Inoue family to find out what really happened. A narrative from the 1980s about a time that altered everything. The WWF was at its best in 1987, and Hulk Hogan was its biggest star. But things were getting tense behind the scenes. Alpha and Sika, the Wild Samoans, were the biggest stars. But Hogan's spotlight frequently made them look little. Wrestling historian Dave Meltzer says that there was a tale of an incident at a WWF house event in Honolulu where Hogan supposedly refused to put Alpha over in a match because they had different ideas about how to do it. The Inoue family always remembered it. This wasn't just about one game. It was about whether or not you had respect. Hogan, the company's public face, might make other people better. But some people say he was quite protective of his spot. The Inoues, who valued family and loyalty, saw this as a betrayal. In 2015, Hogan's racist comments came to light. Roman Reigns, who is still getting bigger in WWE, was reminded of the past. A time when Hogan's actions didn't always fit who he really was as an American. There was more to Reigns' Sports Illustrated interview than met the eye. He talked of broken pledges and missed chances. Was he talking about his own job? Or was he bearing the torch for his family's problems? It was evident that one thing was true. Reigns wasn't grieving Hogan as other people were. But why? I'm not here to bury Hogan. He'd done a lot to help this business. But I'm not going to act like everything was great. There are some things you can't forgive and some things you can't forget. We need to look at a little-known part of wrestling history to make sense of what Reigns said. The 1990s and the wars on Monday nights. Hogan departed WWF for WCW in 1994. There, he became Hollywood Hulk Hogan and led the NWO. The Inoue family kept working hard in the WWF, with Yokozuna, Reigns' cousin, carrying on the Samoan lineage. In 1993, at WrestleMania IX, Hogan won the WWF Championship from Yokozuna in a 22-second bout that fans and wrestlers alike were shocked by. Many people, including members of the Inoue family, thought Hogan had taken Yokozuna's moment. Was this the promise that Reigns said was broken? A time when Hogan's ego got in the way of the family's pride? The Inoue family never said anything bad about Hogan in public, but they were still angry. Reigns had to deal with the weight of that legacy when he became WWE's biggest star. He didn't just stay quiet after Hogan died. It was a message. A statement stating the tribe leader does not kowtow to anyone, not even a famous person like Hogan. There were different opinions among fans. Some people complimented Reigns for being honest, while others thought he was ruining Hogan's reputation. But there was one more piece to the puzzle, a meeting that no one expected. A source connected to WWE says that Roman Reigns and Hulk Hogan met in private in Tampa, Florida, in early 2025, only a few months before Hogan died. The source says Hogan wants to make things right with the Inoue family, but the details are unclear. He is said to have said sorry for things he did wrong in the past, like the WrestleMania IX incident and the scandal in 2015. Reigns heard what was said but did not forgive. Hogan was attempting to make things right with people because he knew he was becoming sick. But for Reigns, it was too late and too little. The tribal chief had built his dominion on respect and devotion, which Hogan had broken. When Hogan died, Reigns chose to stay quiet instead of giving a meaningless homage. He only spoke up to tell the truth. The interview with Reigns wasn't just about Hogan. It was a message to everyone in the wrestling industry. The Inoue family is the real dynasty, and no one, not even Hulk Hogan, can take away from what they did. Reigns' words caused a lot of talk, but the wrestling community came together to mourn Hogan. Ric Flair said he was a great buddy and athlete. Triple H applauded his unique effect. Vince McMahon, who hasn't been with WWE in a long time, even named Hogan the best superstar ever. But what Reigns said made the story more complicated. Was Hogan the hero supporters thought he was, or did he have more weaknesses than we knew? The argument was going on internet. Some people thought Reigns was telling the truth and showing the bad side of a legend. Some others thought he was bitter and disrespectful to a man who had done a lot for them. But there was one thing that couldn't be denied. Reigns' statements made us think about Hulk Hogan's murky history. Hulk Hogan's legacy is a puzzle. He was the hero who made wrestling popular, the bad guy who changed it forever, and the man whose mistakes tormented him. Roman Reigns, on the other hand, is making his own legacy based on family, power, and being honest without making excuses. Reigns didn't simply talk about Hogan's death when he broke his silence. He said that the tribal chief is now the leader of wrestling. As WWE moves forward, Reigns' words remind us that wrestling isn't only about good guys and bad guys. It's about real people, genuine problems, and real forgiveness. The tale of Hogan is gone, but the story of Reigns is still going on. We have learned one thing: the tribal chief doesn't remain quiet for long. Hulk Hogan's death ended a time, but Roman Reigns' remarks started a new one. A chapter in which the past is questioned, the present is challenged, and the future belongs to those who are brave enough to speak their truth. What do you think of what Reigns said? Should he have stayed quiet or called Hogan out? Please leave your comments below so we can keep the conversation going. If you like this deep dive, please press the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more unseen stories from the world of wrestling. Until next time, accept the reality and keep watching.